Hi all, today we'll be talking about a lead code problem, maximum product subarray. The problem states that given an integer array nums, find a contiguous non-empty subarray within the array that has the largest product and return the product. It is guaranteed that the answer will fit in a 32-bit integer. A subarray is a contiguous subsequence of the array. So basically we need to find the maximum product subarray out of the complete array. Here what are the products that we can form from this array? The products will be 2, 3, minus 2, 4, 2 into 3, 6, 2 into 3 into minus 2, which will be minus 12, and then the overall 3 2s are 6, 6 4s are 24, 24 into minus 2 minus 48. So these are the different kinds of products that we can form from the subarrays. However, the maximum product subarray will be the one with the elements 2 and 3, that is 6. Otherwise, if we take the element minus 2, it will simply make the product negative. If we take the element 4 alone, it will be less than 6. So in the end, these two positive integers 2 and 3 give us the maximum product subarray out of this array. In the second example, we have a 0. So the overall product will be 0, and that will also be the maximum one, because the other options that we have is minus 2 and minus 1, which are both less than 0. So 0 is the maximum one. If we take two elements like minus 2 and 0, the product will again be 0. So the maximum product and the best case scenario in this array is the product 0. If we simply had an array of all positive integers, we could simply multiply the complete array and it would give us the maximum product, like 2 into 3 into 4. It would always give a bigger product by multiplying another positive integer to it. If the array consisted of zeros and positive integers, we could uh, partition the array around the zeros, and the sub arrays that we would get out of those, whoever's product is the maximum would be our answer. However, in this question we have negative, positive as well as zero. So what should we do in such a case? In this case, we basically need to keep track of one more thing apart from the current maximum product that we can form. We need to keep track of the minimum product that we can form. Why minimum? Because a minimum element, a minimum product, say like a minimum product like minus 6, when multiplied with a negative number, will give us a greater positive value, that is 12. So for finding the maximum product, or say the current maximum product that we can form from the array elements, we have three cases. We can multiply the minimum product formed till now into the current element. If the current element is negative, it might be a candidate for a maximum product answer. If the current product that we have formed till now is a positive number like 6, and our current element is also positive, then also this is a candidate to be form a maximum product subarray. And the third scenario is when the current product till now is say like 0 and the current element is 6. What will be the maximum product that we can form? Here we need to take the current element itself, that is 6. Rather than multiplying, we'll just take the current element if it is greater than our previous max. So these are the cases in which we can form a maximum product. So we saw that here we need the current minimum product also, because the current minimum when multiplied with a negative number has the potential to give a greater positive product. So we need to find the current min as well. So how do we find the current minimum product? When can we form a negative product? If we have a positive number multiplied with a negative number, it will give us a negative or a minimum a lesser number. If we have a negative product till now, and if we multiply it with a positive number, it again has the potential to give us a minimum product. Otherwise, there's always that case scenario when the current min till now is 0 and the current element is itself a greater negative number, say minus 6, so the current min will remain minus 6. So in this case, here in the case of current min also, we have three scenarios: multiplying positive product with a negative number, multiplying negative product with a positive number, or multiplying or not multiplying at all and taking the current element itself if it is lesser than the current min that we had. So let us try to write this into code. So we'll keep n, which will be nums.size. We'll keep a current minimum. Let us initialize it with the first element, because if our array contains of only one element, the number itself, that element itself, will be the current minimum, maximum, as well as our answer. So we'll keep a variable final max, which will be our answer variable, which will store the final maximum product of the entire array, and we'll be returning this final max variable in the end. Now we'll do some processing. For int I equals to 1, I less than n, I plus plus. So we need to update our current minimum and current maximum according to the current element num_si that we got. So the three cases when current minimum can be updated is that if we multiply the current maximum with the current element, if the current maximum product was a negative product, that is say minus 6, and then we multiplied, and our current element is also negative, then minus 6 into minus 2 will give us minus 6, and the current element was not minus 2, it was plus 2. So this will give us minus 12, which will be a lesser minimum than minus 6. So minus 12 is less than minus 6. So current min will get updated. That is the current max into num_si. If the current max is negative and num_si is positive, then it has the potential to give us a more minimum product. Otherwise, if we multiply the current minimum from the previous iteration with the current element, that is the current minimum till now say was 6, and then our current element is minus 2, then it has the potential to give us minus 12, which is less than 6, so our current minimum will get updated. And the third scenario is that the current minimum was or current max was 0, but our current element itself is lesser than 0, say minus 6, minus 7, something like that, then the current minimum will simply become this element. So we'll take the minimum out of these three cases to find our minimum for this iteration, including the number num_si. Now we need to find the current maximum. So if it is a scenario where a positive number is multiplied by a positive number, then our current max will become the previous max into the current number. That is 6 into 2 kind of scenario where it will give 12. Otherwise, if our current minimum was a negative number and the current element is also a negative number, it has the potential to give us a maximum value. So we'll take that. And the third scenario is when the current max was 0 and the current element is say 10, then 0 into 10 would give 0, but the element 10 itself would form a greater product subarray, greater maximum product subarray of value 10. So we'll take that case, which will be the element itself. Then we need to check if our current max became greater than final max. In that case, we'll simply update our answer to the current max. Apart from this, there is one problem in this implementation currently. So if we look at line number 10, we are computing the current max. For computing the current max, we need the max from the previous iteration and the min from the previous iteration and multiply it with the current element. The max from the previous iteration is intact here, but the min of the previous iteration has been updated on line number 9. So this min is basically the min from the current iteration and not the previous iteration. So for keeping the min from previous iteration, we'll keep a temporary variable current min and we'll multiply a number with the minimum from the previous iteration, which is stored in temp now. Everything looks good now. We'll try to compile this. Looks good. Gives correct on the sample cases. Let us try and submit this problem. It is accepted. Thank you so much for watching the video.